Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over 5 tips for beginners in the new Ubisoft shooter, Rainbow Six Extraction. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first tip is going to be not paying attention to the objective. I am not the best at this game, I'm new to it just like everybody else, but one of the first mistakes I see a lot of beginners make is they're not looking at the objective or they're not paying attention to it. And this takes place in two forms. Either people are looking at the objective and they're trying to complete it, but when they complete it, they're just wandering around the map, still looking for stuff, or still fighting enemies for no reason and not moving onto the airlock or extraction, or they're just not paying attention to the objective, fighting different rooms for no reason, taking damage or getting themselves killed, and then they're not actually doing the objective and they're not actually focusing on it. So when you are going into a mission, that is the whole point of this game, is to complete the objective. The only reason you should be staying in a zone after you have completed the objective is to look for gear if you absolutely need it. And to be honest, the only gear you should be looking for is ammo or medkits, which, as far as medkits go, they don't spawn very often. So what you should be looking for is things like ammo or medkits, but if you're looking for react gear or you think, oh, I'm out of react gear, I don't have enough nades or I don't have enough stun nades or glue nades, it's not worth going for unless it's a very pinpoint part of your strategy. So that is tip number 1. Okay, so tip number 2 is going to be people not respecting stealth enough. A lot of the times I see my teammates, and even I struggle with this sometimes, going in wanting to go guns a-blazing and fight everything. And this is something that, can be forgiven or works kind of in lower levels of difficulty, but the farther you go, the more you'll start to realize that fighting when you don't need to is bad in almost every single way. There's almost no reason for you to have to go loud until someone makes a mistake. Going loud not only means that you're losing ammo that you don't need to be using, but you're also losing potential health and you're putting your teammates in danger. So making sure that you're running things like suppressors if you need to, that can be helpful. And that is going to lead into my next tip as well. So tip number 3, coming off of tip number 2, is going to be loadout advice. I'm just going to drop a few things that I found have been helpful, but going off of what I said before, not a lot of people always respect stealth. And one of the best attachments I found is suppressors. Now, suppressors are an attachment that you can put onto many of the guns in the game. And what it essentially does is it makes your shots a lot quieter, and it also reduces the chances that you will alert enemies when you are shooting or firing. So what I like to do is put a suppressor on the secondary or my pistol that I'm using, and use my pistol for most of the run until we go loud. And then once we go loud, that is when I stop using my pistol. If someone makes a mistake or we are purposefully going loud, then I will use my primary. But other than that, I do like to use my pistol just because it's great for killing nests, and it, for the most part, one-taps a lot of enemies in the head, but if not, it'll two-tap, or even, more than that, but it'll still kill them pretty quickly, but it'll be suppressed. So that is my recommendation for pistols. As for other things, I think a good loadout can also make use of really good react tech. It's your choice what operator you use, so, I think that's just personal preference, but I would say when it comes to things like the glue grenade, the stun grenade, the paralysis grenade, the adrenaline shot, or whatever that thing is called, where it's giving you extra health boost, and the body armor are going to be some of the best options for you to take when you're thinking about your react gear, as well as the drone and also the self-revive kit. I think some of these are better than others. I think body armor is very good because when you start leveling up your characters to a certain point, you'll get people who are getting like 40% less damage taken because of their passive armor and then also the armor you're wearing with your react tech. But you could run a few other things. I do think that paralysis and stun grenades, if you're not running someone like Ella, is really, really good, because when it comes to those objectives that say take down this enemy, sometimes it's not always very clear, but what that's saying is that you need to go behind them, get that knife in their back, and take them down. It doesn't have to be stealth, they can still be alerted, but it needs to say takedown when you click that melee, right? So when you get that animation where you're, wrestling them down, getting takedown, it has to be that. And stunning them or paralyzing them makes it so much easier because you can just walk up to even the biggest of guys, like the smashers as well with the big armor, and you don't have to worry about them hitting you and taking a bunch of your health. So next is tip number 4. trying to level too many operators. This is something that, you know, I'm not sure if other people are doing it or not, but this is something I could just see happening, is trying to play too many operators and get too many operators leveled up. I think there's nothing wrong with trying every operator as you unlock them to see if they're your playstyle or not, but at a certain point, I think it is worth to start investing in a few operators only to make sure that you at least have some operators for higher levels of play, if that's what you're going for. If you just want to stay in the lower tiers of difficulty, then there's nothing wrong with that, and you can just play whoever you want. But if you are trying to go for higher difficulties, I think playing operators that are higher level are going to make that way easier for you and for your team. So making sure, for me, I found the perfect number is 3. So making sure that maybe you're picking 3 operators that you like and play between those, because sometimes it's inevitable that you're going to be taking damage on operators. So what I found, especially when you start getting to areas like San Francisco or higher, is that taking those operators and rotating them allows you to essentially play those 3 operators over and over and over again. So like I play Habana, Ella, and who else am I playing? I'm playing IQ. So I essentially play each of those, and when I take damage on one, then I move to the next, and then the next, and then the next, so that they're all getting EXP, and so all of them are close to level 10 now, because I've been playing each of them in rotation like that. So I would say, unless you are trying to just play at lower levels, if you're going for higher difficulty stuff, pick 3 to 4 operators maybe, and then just focus on playing them. So tip number 5 is MIA rescues. This is something that I found has worked really well. But as you know, or for some of you who don't know, if you go down into the down state, not down but not out, but if you go into the down state where the stasis foam goes all over your operator, your team will need to extract you. And if they don't extract you, then you are considered MIA. That operator is considered MIA, and you're going to have to go in and rescue them with either a pre-made squad, a quick match squad, or on your own. I have found that the most effective way to do MIA rescues is by doing it on your own on a low difficulty map. So what you can do is, instead of going into a location and then clicking quick match, you can go at the bottom, or like the bottom half of the screen, and look at the individual locations. You can choose a location, and then you can choose the difficulty of that location. I would recommend doing this if you have a pre-made squad, go for that, but the game already says that it scales the amount of enemies and the difficulty of the level based on how many people there are. So I would say trust yourself, trust your abilities, go in by yourself on the lowest difficulty possible, and hope that try to get your MIA objective on either the first or second objective so that you're not going deep in. And just extract by yourself, and then once you get that MIA rescue, just extract, right? Just leave, come out, and then keep going. The reason why I say this is because while doing MIAs with random people in quick match is fun, MIAs to me are something that's not worth risking just for the sake of playing at a higher difficulty level. To me, I don't find that fun, because when you lose an MIA, or if you fail an MIA attempt, you not only lose that EXP for the operator that was MIA, but you also lose EXP for your main goal, like the main campaign, if you want to say. So doing it on your own makes it less open to failure from other people, and doing it on the lowest difficulty means it's going to be a lot easier. So that is my tip for MIA rescues, and that is all of my 5 tips for beginners. So if you guys like the video, share it, like it, subscribe to the channel. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be trying to put out more Rainbow Six Extraction content in the future. I'm not the best at making these videos, so bear with me, but I'm going to try to get better. So yeah, hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.